Hello, and welcome to NatSec Watch, where we dive deep into the most pressing issues shaping India and the world. Today, we're talking about a major development in India's tech and security landscape. Elon Musk's Starlink has received approval to operate in India. But what does this mean for India's national security and data privacy? Let's break it down. First, let's understand what Starlink is. It's a satellite internet service launched by SpaceX, designed to provide high-speed internet even in the most remote corners of the world. Sounds like a game changer, right? Well, not so fast. There are significant security concerns associated with this technology. One of the biggest concerns surrounding Starlink is its close association with the US intelligence and military establishment. While Starlink promises to bridge the digital divide, it also raises questions about data interception, surveillance, and potential interference with India's critical infrastructure. Reports suggest that Starlink has confidential contracts with US agencies, making it difficult to assess whether the data transmitted through its network is truly secure. The question is, would India be able to control or restrict Starlink's operations if relations with the US were to deteriorate in future? Could Starlink be used for espionage or even cyber attacks? Experts warn about multiple technical vulnerabilities, including denial of service attacks, spoofing and jamming, and man-in-the-middle attacks. That's why strong encryption algorithms, authentication protocols, and intrusion detection systems are essential to safeguard India's networks. Adding to these concerns, recent reports suggest that Starlink terminals have allegedly been used by militants in Manipur and narcotics traffickers in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. This raises urgent questions about how such advanced communication tools could be exploited by non-state actors to evade security forces. If not properly regulated, Starlink can be misused by terror groups and organized crime networks. Another major concern is the potential disruption of indigenous projects. India has been investing heavily in its own space technology and satellite communication infrastructure. The entry of Starlink could undermine these efforts, affecting India's long-term goal of self-reliance in the space sector. Additionally, the risk of foreign surveillance cannot be ignored. With Starlink's global reach, there is a real possibility that data and communications in sensitive regions of India could be vulnerable to foreign intelligence agencies. Ensuring data security and regulatory oversight will be crucial moving forward. Starlink's control by a foreign corporation also raises the risk of strategic data manipulation or disruption, particularly during geopolitical tensions. We've seen cases where foreign companies have imposed digital blockades or access restrictions on nations during conflicts. This could leave India vulnerable in critical moments. Another serious concern is data routing through foreign satellites. Starlink transmits Indian data via its network of global satellites, increasing the risk of unauthorized data storage and interception outside India. Finally, we must consider the potential for monopolistic tendencies. If Starlink dominates the satellite internet market in India, it could reduce competition and leave the country dependent on a single foreign operator for essential connectivity. This could have serious implications for both pricing and security. India isn't the first country to deal with these concerns. Let's look at what other nations have experienced with Starlink. Ukraine relies heavily on Starlink for military communications during the ongoing war with Russia. However, Elon Musk hinted at withdrawing the service at a crucial moment, raising alarms about how much power one private entity could have over national security. Polish officials were quick to criticize Musk's ability to influence geopolitical outcomes. Japan, which adopted Starlink in 2022, is now trying to develop a regulatory framework to manage such powerful tech companies. Meanwhile, Bangladesh has welcomed Starlink with open arms, seemingly ignoring its security risks. So where does India stand? India has asked Starlink to set up a control room within the country to allow for monitoring and emergency shutdowns. The security establishment has also mandated that law enforcement must have access to communication interceptions when necessary. But here's the contradiction. India has barred Chinese telecom giants like Huawei and ZTE over security concerns. Should Starlink be treated differently just because it's a US company? Could Starlink be weaponized against India in a future conflict? So what's the way forward? India needs to ensure stringent regulatory oversight. Here are some key measures India could consider before fully integrating Starlink into its digital ecosystem. Mandatory data localization, ensuring that all Indian user data is stored within the country. Encryption and cybersecurity protocols, implementing advanced security measures to prevent hacking and espionage. Regulatory framework, establishing laws that lay down a standard operating procedure on how foreign satellite communication services can operate in India. Alternatives to Starlink, investing in indigenous satellite internet projects to reduce dependency. Military and civilian separation, ensuring Starlink is strictly used for civilian purposes and not integrated into India's defense infrastructure. While Starlink's internet services could revolutionize connectivity in rural India, national security cannot take a back seat. A right balance needs to be maintained between leveraging technology for progress and safeguarding India's sovereignty. India's ability to navigate the intersection of technology, commerce and geopolitics will come into play now that Elon Musk's Starlink has been given the go-ahead to operate in India. Should India embrace Starlink or tread cautiously? What do you think? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share and please do subscribe for more insightful content. See you next time.